Okay, so we kind of poached you away from Dynamex and got you working on talking to workers for justice for janitors. So, yeah, maybe just any memories you have of how that went.
Yeah, sure, certainly. So, I guess one of the things I remember within the cultural group of the Punjabis, because there was a lot of elders that were there, sort of who were brought over by family on a provincial nominee program or however that worked, right? And they didn't speak a lot of English, very few words. And basically what they were doing is just helping the family out themselves, supplementing extra income for the family, right? With groceries and mortgages and stuff like that. Here's the thing though, like a lot of them had already retired from their jobs in India. Mm-hmm. So it was like, now they're coming back into the workforce again, and the very first job they are doing is cleaning and a janitor job. And some of these people were, they were either doctors or they were, they had good, teachers and, other jobs. And all of a sudden here they are trying to supplement and help, their own family here. And part of that struggle that they had was the fact that they had a language barrier, which was quite evident, right? Especially when they were trying to discuss things with other, co-workers and stuff. One of the things I do remember, there was one East Indian fellow who, when we went to, talk to him, not only, at the U of A, but I ended up going to his house, is he truly believed that he was a subcontractor. And he had, I think he had 3 or 4, buffing machines and wax machines or whatever. So he had bought them himself. And he was told, yeah, you buy these and you can have other people working for you. And I said, so, okay, so if you have other people working for you, are you paying them? He's like, well, no. I said, well, then you're not a subcontractor. And so we looked at his pay stub, and there it was, there was nothing to indicate that he was a subcontractor. He was just another employee, because that's how it was stated, employee number and, be clean and all that kind of stuff, right? So definitely a lot of confusion by how the employer there at that time was manipulating people to think that they were like their own little boss, which technically they were not, right? So
I remember a lot of problems, conflict with supervisors around meal breaks, and do you remember them talking about, because the meal break was important, you're working late, and like you say, it's a chance to take a break. And
yeah, I remember there was a couple of individuals who actually had I think diabetes or some other health issues as well, so they had to eat at certain times, right, and plus take medication. So and that's the one thing that some of them wanted actually was, to have an established meal break where they could go when they felt the need to go to, and not when they were sort of unceremoniously forced to go, right? And they always felt like they were being rushed into taking their breaks, as just go, 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 and then come back and go, go, go again, right? So there was almost like there weren't any proper breaks actually happening as well. So that was part of the complaint I heard a lot from some of the elders as well. So
it's coming back to me, this story too of, do you remember that one supervisor at the Butterdome? She was very insulting to the Punjabi older workers that that were there, and it was like, oh, they don't need chairs, and I can't remember what it was, but I know that it's a thing about at the Gurdwara, right, that you sit on the floor and it's a sign of humility and kind of things like that. But I remember people being very offended coming from her. It was like, oh, you don't need chairs to have a lunch break, and
yeah, it was. When I heard about that, I was just like, okay, so why does anybody else get chairs and tables to sit down, but then you guys don't? And they did feel like they were being treated like a third-class citizen, almost like a non-entity. And it was kind of disturbing as well, because it's like you felt their emotion about that. Like to most society, they might not think about it, but it's like, why are you treating them different than any other worker, right? They deserve just as much respect and dignity as any others, right? So, yeah, that was kind of like one of those gross things to have to talk about as well, because it's like, well, because they felt truly that they were being treated like, a lower caste, or, you're a piece of garbage, basically, is what, one of them told me, I remember. So it's like, we're not garbage, we're human beings, and we need to be treated that way, right? So